Have you ever replayed a simple conversation for hours, trying to figure out what someone really meant? They said, "It's fine," but their tone felt different. They replied with one word. They looked away for half a second, and suddenly your brain turns one tiny moment into a full investigation. You analyze the wording, the timing, the silence, not because you enjoy overthinking, but because part of you is convinced there must be something hidden underneath what was said. Here's the psychology behind why you overanalyze everything people say. 1. Your brain is trying to protect you from being blindsided. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Overanalysis often starts as self-protection. Your brain believes that if it can predict rejection, anger, or distance before it happens, maybe it can stop you from getting hurt. So instead of taking words at face value, you search for danger. Was that joke actually an insult? Did their energy change? Are they losing interest? Psychologists sometimes describe this as hypervigilance. Your attention becomes sensitive to emotional signals because your nervous system would rather create a false alarm than miss a real threat. 2. You notice more than most people. Do some people hear words? You hear words, tone, pauses, body language, timing, and what was not said. That awareness can reflect emotional intelligence, sensitivity, and strong pattern recognition. But it also gives your mind more information to analyze. A delayed reply becomes a clue. A different tone feels personal. Because you notice subtle shifts, you may assume every shift has an explanation. But human behavior is messy. People get tired, distracted, stressed. Sometimes the change you noticed is real, but the meaning you attach to it is not. 3, you are afraid of misreading the situation. Here's why overthinkers rarely trust their first interpretation. They're terrified of choosing the wrong one. You think, maybe they were joking, then immediately think, but what if they weren't? You consider one explanation, then another, then another. This creates analysis paralysis. The more possibilities you generate, the harder it becomes to settle on one. Because certainty feels safer than ambiguity. Your brain searches for a perfect answer the conversation rarely gives you. So you reread the message, replay the tone, imagine what you should have said. But overthinking does not always lead to truth. Sometimes it only creates more convincing stories. 4. Past experiences trained you to read between the lines. Sometimes words were not always reliable. Maybe someone said they were fine when they were angry. Maybe someone acted normal before suddenly leaving. Maybe nothing is wrong did not actually mean nothing was wrong. So now your brain watches for contradictions. It checks whether words match behavior. This is how past emotional experiences shape present perception. Your mind creates rules from what hurt you before, then applies those rules to new people. You are not always reacting to this conversation. Sometimes you are reacting to every conversation that once ended badly. 5. You take other people's reactions personally. Here's the trap most overthinkers do not realize they are in. They assume other people's behavior must be about them. If someone is quiet, you wonder what you did. If they reply differently, you search for your mistake. Psychology calls this personalization, connecting external events to yourself without enough evidence. But people carry lives you cannot see, their stress, their insecurities, their exhaustion. Not every silence is rejection. Not every short reply is anger. Not every change in energy means you caused it. Sometimes People are dealing with something that has nothing to do with you. So, what do? The goal is not to stop noticing things. Your awareness is not the enemy. The goal is to stop treating every observation like proof. Ask yourself, what do I actually know and what am I assuming? Overanalysis feels like control, but most of the time it is your mind trying to escape uncertainty. Real peace begins when you realize you do not need to decode every word. If this helped you understand your own mind, subscribe. Not because you need more things to overthink, but because understanding your patterns is how you finally stop being controlled by them.